Done.
That goes again.
That goes again. So, okay. Welcome to everyone to education part, to the lab. My name is Romina Di Giovanni. I'm the coordinator from the toolkit for a small and medium entrepreneur in Hecho por Nosotros, and also mentor from the pupils they are in the other lab, also for the students in the other lab. So, and my co-create is in the other part of my hand, I don't know, Felipe, who is coordinator also in this group. I give you your word, Felipe.
Okay, thank you. Well, I am Felipe Venegas Lynch. I've been involved in high school education in Buenos Aires province, Argentina, for 20 years now. From my experience working in different institutions, I find that the systemic change we need won't happen unless we incorporate co-creation and real collaboration in every classroom. We need to move from the traditional educational model based in separation and scarcity towards a sustainable and regenerative model based in cooperation and abundance. In 2023, I founded Puesta en Común, a pedagogical project oriented to assist teachers and institutions in achieving this transformation by sharing specific tools and learning dynamics I developed working side by side with students all through these years. Today's high school students are our near future leaders. It's time to integrate schools and other institutions involved in education to the dynamic vibrancy of systemic view. If we keep insisting with the same old formulas, we will get the same point of frustration where education has been stuck for a long time. Systemic change has to start from the very foundations of every educational enterprise in order to grow organically into positive transformation. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
you, Felipe. So at the beginning, you already know Tomás and Martin, and invite everyone to discuss, please. This is an open question. We'll let it to Tomás and Martin first, and then we could discuss in the public. So I should shoot it. How can education be adapted to meet the needs of a rapidly changing world? Thinking about the leadership also. How is the leadership qualities and skills they already need to be?
Okay, maybe I can start, Martin, and then you go. So I think when we talk about education, we're talking about schools, we're talking about teachers, we're talking about also parents, families. And so we have to think about these different institutions, how these institutions have years and years of being in a certain way that they were very good in a moment, but now is the moment to start walking through new ways of doing education on, for example, evaluation methods, for example, the subjects that we have in schools, for example, the ways that teachers are having their own education. And I think that we must promote more critical thinking, creativity, and problem-solving skills. A few years ago, maybe 10, 20 years ago, the teaching method was to memorize everything. And that's the way people learned. Now we know that that's not the way of doing it. So in this changing world that changes every month, every week, when disasters are becoming more common thing and we have to adapt more easily, we need these institutions to adapt themselves too. And we as educators, we must know that the things that we did last year maybe are not the things that I have to do this year. I have to keep changing and to keep promoting new ways of doing it. I think Martin just left the room.
Left, yeah. Well, thank you, Thomas.
Maybe
Thank you.
I can add something following that idea. I totally agree with you, Thomas, in especially coming from high school teaching. I see that it is a burden and a sterile practice to get stuck with a fixed program which you prepare in the beginning of the year and you have to carry it through. We are dealing with young people, very dynamic people, and of course you have to get an idea, materials, specialized materials from your area of specialty, but then it's a co-creation process. You put something in the middle and it's a dialogue, and you go constructing on the way, and in that way you also get the attention and the participation and the enthusiasm of the young people, and the teacher doesn't get to exhaust himself always giving expositive lessons and lecturing to people that don't want to hear. I mean, you can't preach a collaboration. You have to live collaboration in order to teach it. And you have to open a space of real listening and real dialogue. If not, it won't work.
Exactly.
So thank you, Felipe. Also, I want to ask you we are waiting for Martin also to join again our room, but I have the curiosity to ask you, Chat Felipe and Thomas, what role does mentorship and networking play in develop the new generation of leaders? Because we start to see a lot of leaders, and this is really nice to see. My face is when I smile, but what kind of role we could share with them?
Well, for example, in Ashoka, we work as a network. We work searching for these incredible social entrepreneurs and making and connecting them with each other around the country and around the world. Oh, there's Martin. And also, for example, in my case, I work with teenagers from 12 to 20 years old in Ashoka. And we are building this network of change makers all around Argentina. And we are trying to co-create projects. We are giving them change-making tools. And we try to, of course, train their leadership. But the thing that always amazes me the most is that the thing that they value the most about our programs, about what we do with them, is the chance to meet another teens around the country that are doing incredible things that they have maybe in their schools, in their family, in their community. They don't have maybe these friends or teenagers that wanting to change the world or doing these projects, and maybe they find another young people in another part of their country or maybe another part of their city, and they meet them and they feel much stronger. And I think that that's the role that networking plays. It's to make you feel stronger and to make your project way more impactful and more interesting.
Thank you, Thomas. And here is Martin. So I take the advance and ask you quite the same question, because it's really, for me, it's quite like I mentor also, but it's also a little bit of struggle in that. What role does mentorship and networking play in developing the new generation of leaders for you, Martin?
Well, I think networking it's like a basic thing in the act of starting something new. I think it's like when you do some things on your own, it's really hard, and you have to live through all of the processes needed to do something, and you have to learn about a lot of things. But networking and meeting new people with different views, and it's the way to get some steps in the way, I think, because you can learn from other people, you can learn from the experiences of other people, you can try to take advantage of the common knowledge that is like it's being shared in these networks. I think that's the main aspect. I think we have to try to understand what we need and what we can take. We can learn from the people we are working or we are networking with. I think we have to understand the function of it. It's not that networking just by networking. We have to understand what we need, what we can learn from each other, and be direct and clear, because I think that it's something that happens. Networking is great and everything, but if I can say something that I have been experiencing, is that it has to have meaning. I think you have to understand what you want to get from the interaction with other people, because if not, you're just like meeting people. It's another way of meeting people. I think we talk about what we do and we talk about what we want to do, but when we know what we need and we know what we want and we know what the other one is doing, this is something we have to be better at. I think I think we are in this, I don't know, 10 years, I have been seeing a lot of meeting each other and talking about things, but not knowing each other and not having the real experience of knowing what's behind everyone. So I think we have to have better, like, more like with more content, conversation with more content, know each other with more context and content. So I think that's what can I say about it.
Thank you so much. So, like you said, this is an open. So take a conversation. I invite to Sabina, Eric, and Lorena to ask. From Eric or Lorena, if you want to ask in Spanish, it's okay. Tomás and Martin speak in Spanish. And from Sakina, if you want to, obviously in English. ¿Tú quedó open?
Everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you for this interesting topic. I would like to add about the importance of involving everyone for better education, because we need to hear from parents, we need to hear from teachers, we need to hear from all the community how to think and how to work to develop the education sector, because now it's not like in the past. Now we have a digital education, and we need to take this into consideration. It's not just about our children go to school and to get the information. Sometimes at home you have all the opportunity, you have more chance to know more information and to know the latest information through attending, for example, classes, digital classes, webinars, and also forums discussing with other children in your region or from around the world. So we need to think if I said it well, out of box, how to integrate and to integrate digital in education. And about mentorship and leadership, it's very, very important. Teachers need to keep in touch with the mentors in education, with the leaders in education, to know more about their experience in this sector, to know more about their ideas, to know more about how to develop are skills for the benefit of our children and for the benefit of education sector. So it's very important to keep this network and to try to expand this network in your region and with others in the world, and all this for better education. Thank you.
Thomas, Martin, or Felipe? Would you ask?
Thank you, Sakina. Yes, of course, I agree with you. I would like to add one more thing. I think the basic network I see is already inside the classroom. We've been wasting time and energy for a long time, not recognizing that we have the opportunity with 15, 20 students in one place. We really can make them connect and dialogue and start training in what networking is in a bigger sense. But we can start doing that since kindergarten, and we are not doing it. And there's so much potential if we just change some little things from the traditional way of teaching and learning. Networking happens, and you see all the profiles of each student growing and getting stronger and sharing their differences and learning to listen to one another.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if someone else wants to add something else. That's it then.
Sorry, I cannot add something to this because it's hard for me to think about networking because in this subject of education, because I'm used to working like mainly in public primary education, so it's a concept that I'm not used to see in that, to think about networking in that kind of in that context. But I think what listen to you also, Felipe, and with the way we teach and the way we learn, that we need to be more adaptive, I think. And that's something that, from my point of view, it's something that we shouldn't depend on the government anymore. We shouldn't expect that the government is going to present a revolutionary way of learning. And I think we shouldn't expect like a new model of education that can solve everything. I think we need to find new structures. Like we need to think about new structures in which we can think about what we are learning for. Like we need to learn all of these because we want to go there, and also how to interact with reality constantly because reality is changing all the time. So we have no structure, any of the structures we have to learn to govern ourselves. Anything is like it's free of bureaucracy. Everything is solid and everything takes times, and we need to interact to react, I think, faster. And I think the only way I have seen that happening is when the decisions are made locally, are made around the school, around the children, having safe spaces to interact with each other, to talk with each other, to think about what's best for the community. Just when you start growing the scale and you start mixing different people from different areas in a whole country, in a whole world, it's really difficult. So I think we need to think about new structures where we can identify and choose which education we need for the place we live and the air we need, and being able to interact with it, not just sending children to school or sending a young adult to university. That's not working. I think we have to being able to think about in education about something that's always new, and something it needs to be new all the time. And that's the difficult thing, because we are attaching the new ideas and the revolution and everything. We are expecting it to come from I don't know where, but we need to start thinking about small spaces, communities, I don't know. I think that's the only way I see in which we can have a different. And I don't know, I don't mean hippie communities and rural communities. I mean groups of people that can understand as themselves as a group and identify as a group. Yeah. That's what I can say.
Totally. Let me add one more thing. Not even not only the states of governments, but also the same institutions. Many times you have to work like behind their backs, and they don't care. But you start doing something different, and if it works, they won't say anything. In Puesta en Común, I started working now directly with teachers, because institutions, they want big themes and marketing, but they don't want real solutions. So I started trying to connect with teachers and trying to unburden them from all the bureaucracy, and sharing specific ways that work for me and maybe can work for them, but in the end we can talk, put on the table what we're doing, and try to find out which dynamic way is appropriate for each one of us in each community, as you were saying.
Yeah, and I think that's direct interaction with one teacher, just one experience. That's like the real first step to the things, I think, because the structures, big structures, institutions they fear changes, because the success is something you have to always succeed in what you do, and not failing with children involved is something you can everything can be, because no one can understand the power of trying something new, and so institutions cannot handle with that kind of risk, I think. So we have to go directly like that, I think, and that's something possible. And the thing that's happening here in Uruguay, at least, and I see it in a lot of countries, the teacher itself is it's like they have no more energy to try to change things, because the institution
the
is
same
always
here. And they don't get to be listened to, because they always some institution or the government that says, well, now we have to do this or that, but the teacher always have to do the same and more, so nothing ever changes. So I, many years ago, decided to just block out all those things and started working like an artisan, because I think we have to put on value the way that teachers are like artisans, and we have to unburden for all that bureaucracy stuff that it's a torture, and we have to be able to focus on other things, which are this capacity of sharing, being attentive to every kid, trying to make things work in a flexible way, and sharing our enthusiasm on any subject. And I mean, when I talked about networking, I am not familiar with networking, as Thomas talked also, but I wanted to say that it's like the seed you plant in kindergarten and primary, when you start training and playing with them, just to make them listen to one another and sharing what they have written, and make them read it out loud, and build a climate of respect and creativity and collaboration. And well, that's everything. Then it works alone. You don't have to do anything. Just be there, observe, and accompany everyone.
Could I ask something for everyone, also for Lorena and Sakina? I can hear everything, and I could say, since the first day, I don't know if the first day in the kita or in the kindergarten they already have, but since the first in the primary school, you can start to help to the kids to embrace or to get a little more tools like the leadership, like you said, as like you are talking about, okay, we could create, we could discuss all together. What do you want to do? What in kind of behavior do you want to go? Because I see it's okay, the primary school, I'm from Argentina, so I know what kind of school we already have. And it's really block, and they don't have any space to get involved the people, but involve the student in the same room. And it's quite the same when I teach the leadership from when they grow up in university. And this is so complicated to them to understand how they could co-create together, how could ask. And I say, please ask. This is the huge ask, and stay with your neighbors. Your neighbors is the first stakeholder you already have. So I asked to Thomas, Martin, Felipe, and to Lorena, Saka, now and Paula, there's here also, how we could co-creation and start to give the kids these kind of tools. I open to answer.
I think that the best way of teaching co-creation is to us as the adults to be co-creating as well, and to show them the example of how we want them to behave, because kids and teenagers really learn by watching and hearing. And now I think that the policymakers, for example, are not giving the best role models, or maybe the famous artists aren't either. So maybe the best way of teaching them how to do it is to start doing it ourselves.
I totally agree with you, Tomas. And not only that, but start doing students and teachers side by side. You know, if you want to teach collaboration, you just, sometimes you have to shut your mouth, stop lecturing, and open the space to do something side by side. But there's so many traditions going on which go against that you have to like clean the scene before that is possible. But it is possible. I've experienced it, and I know it. And there are many other pedagogical approaches like Montessori schools and Waldorf schools also, which have very rich traditions. I think we have to leave the room, as Paula commented here, like just now, maybe.
Yeah, but
Thank you very
we
much.
have time to Martin, no? For Martin on Sarika Lorena. Please, Martin.
Well, no, just I could add that I think if we want to show by the example to children how to co-create and how to articulate with each other, also it's important you have children, you have teachers, and I think you should have parents in that mix also, and social and neighbors and people that's on the life around the life of the children, because then you can connect all the places where the children are learning. Because if not, you have just learning, the act of learning is just in one room and one space, and then it's not, it has no attachment with the rest of the lab. So I think we have to try to connect the parents again to the education of the children, and the children in the knowledge of the people that's on their lives, and trying to connect all of those parts. That's our responsibility as parents, I think, and also the system giving place to do that. I think that's the only thing I would add to that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think if we have time, I'll invite Sakina. Sakina?
Thank you. Thank you. We need a startup and open this sector to investors to contribute in the development of this sector, and also to create a bridge between education and the private sector. About the question, for example, playing, we need to see playing as a tool of education and not just as a break. A break, it's to move from topic to another topic, but we need to include playing as a tool of education, because it's very important in kinder or in primary school for our children to play and learn in the same time, and not just to learn and you will have a break to play. No, we need to do it in the same time and consider it as a tool of education. And the break is to move from topic to another topic. Thank you.
Thank you to you. I think it's in a few seconds we leave our room. So if you want to join the big room.
Ay, ¿por qué se pasa tan rápido el tiempo?
Time flies, I know. Okay, so again, thank you all. If any one of you wants to share some keynotes, some key points of your rooms, that would be amazing. And after that, Adri, if you want to say a few words to close up this dialogue, it would be really nice. I want to thank you all again, and I am really glad we were all part of it. It's really hopeful.
Thank you for this great opportunity. It's amazing how, as Adriana said, it has to be local projects around the world, and in these spaces is where we can share, where we can get feedback, where we can see that we are not the only crazy ones in the location. So thank you for this excellent opportunity.
Felipe, would you
Anyone
like
else want to share something? Adri, no se te escucha.
Felipe, would you like to, or Romina from your room? Let's talk from the different rooms.
Well, me. Yes, we share a lot of opinions about leadership, mentorship, also, but more for the education since the first class. There was a really rich conversation. So thank you so much from Martin, Tomas, Felipe for the conversation with Lorena, Sakina. This is really grateful. Thank you so much.
Who else?
Today, Elena, any one of you want to share any insights on the breakout room?
Yeah, I can actually tell a bit about our breakout room. I mean, we actually had very great and inspiring discussions, and especially to us being involved as a youth, being part of a project team with Eco por Nosotros and Conserve, speaking about our experiences and our learnings, and then hearing also from others about what they think about the whole situation, how we can actually drive sustainable change, was really inspiring. And yeah, so I would like to really thank for that session. And it has been great to talk with everybody involved, like Caro and Paula, everybody who was involved also in the comment section. There was a lot of participation. So yeah, thank you all for that.
Okay, well, thank you all. The journey is already going on. so many people around the world, so many beautiful people with a lot of courage, doing marvelous things. The theme is we have to go out of the system, forget, do not follow. It's very distracting, the system. So, and put efforts in creating the new system where we are much more connected. We need less about all this noise from outside, and projecting how we produce, consume, how we love things, how we recover the soul of things that we use, that we dress, and from there that we eat, and where we work, that we share the values of everything we do. So the fragmentation of our value chains has a lot to do with this fragmentation that we have. When we go to the work, we have a hat, we are professional, another hat. No, just one hat. Human beings rooted and open to this enormous potentiality that is inside and outside. Yes, so thank you so much, all the collaborators of Hecho por Nosotros, the partners, the leaders, Ashoka, the students, all together, so beautiful that we transdisciplinary, transnational, trans-age, together, human beings giving the best. So interesting, the meeting and the conversations, and keep on going. Hecho por Nosotros is an open platform in order to help all of you to make easier the journey. Yes, to be part is not an acta, it's very easy. You have to go there, use resources, create and share. Yes, the sharing economy, the collaboration with capital letters, and everything is possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adri. Thank you, everyone. We're done for today. Just a note, remember to trust youth. They are part of the solution, and they have tools, and they have this new way of thinking that we can take into account. And when I say they, I say me too, because I'm young. I am really glad I can be part of these spaces. I'm sure everyone else also is really happy to be here. Hope to see you in our next event next week on Catalyst. The link is in the chat. And for anything else you want, you can contact us via LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or our emails if you have them. If not, just ask for it through LinkedIn. So thank you all. We are done. Do you want to take a picture? Do you want to smile and I can take a pic first?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Okay. We are done.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, close.